Good November 26th morning. No snow, but sun and cold. My name is Eleanor Pella, and I'll be the worship assistant today. It is an honor to do so. And I am so glad it's still November, because before the onslaught of holiday commercialism and consumptionism, today with Andrew McKnight, who we love having, he's no stranger to our church congregation or family, we'll be able to mindfully, joyfully, reverently, and gratefully give thanks before December comes. Just want to hold on to it just a tad more. Keep thinking of things we're grateful for that maybe we didn't give thanks for. So welcome to this wonderful church. Marianne Carter said this: welcome to this place of possibility. Welcome to this place of possibility. There's love. This is love's hearth, the home of hope, a refuge for minds in search of truth, unfolding, ever beautiful, ever strange. Here, compassion is our shelter. It's freedom of our protection from the storms of bigotry and hate. In this abode, may we find comfort and courage. Here may our sight become vision to this unseen, to glimpse the good that is yet to be. Today's service is called In Thanks for Giving with UUG's longtime friend, Andrew McKnight. Andrew is a former environmental engineer turned award-winning singer and songwriter and a guitarist from the foothills of Northern Virginia's Blue Ridge Mountains. His musical journey is nearing 1 million miles of America's blue highways and scenic backwaters. His music and messages are infused with great reverence and warmth for the human journey and our place on this magnificent blue ball. His latest work, Treasures in My Chest, is an album and book inspired by an incredible experience he had exploring his family history over the last 7 years. In addition to his nationally acclaimed performing and recording career, our fellow UU has devoted much of his energy and passion to causes and issues near and dear to our faith. In this musical meditation of remembrance and gratitude, Andrew humbly offers us a timeout to recharge a weary spirit with words and gorgeous music. Together, we can light a sturdy beacon of hope to brighten these long, dark nights ahead. Now, let's do what we're here to do. Our prelude today will be performed by the one and only Andrew McKnight, a McKnight freshly cooked tune. Don't put an A on it.
Good morning, friends. It is lovely to be among you again on this Thanksgiving weekend. I am grateful for that. They close our road on the 4th of July for the kids to ride by. Streamers on their bikes, red, blue, and white, let the judges decide. Bring a dish to share, your favorite folding chair, try to stay cool. We read the famous words, just like we heard since we were kids at school. In my little town, renamed for Honest Abe, somehow it became where I put roots down. Graveyard stone tied more than bones in the red clay ground. These sunken gravel roads wind back in time and slowly disappear. The last dairy farm keeps holding on another year. In my little town, in my little town, when the fire breaks out and the roof caves in, when the snow's piled high, times are worse they've been. The progress of the present brings the future crashing down. Stand up with each other here in our little town. Try not to blink and miss our little town. The holiday lights, cold winter nights, herald angels sing. From door to door, just like the year before, firelight caroling. We pray that it lasts, cherishing our past until it's gone. When neighbors still wave, stories we still save to pass on down. In my little town, in my little town, when the fire breaks out and the roof caves in, when the snow's piled high, times are worse they've been. The progress of the present brings the future crashing down. Stand up with each other here in our little town. Try not to blink and miss our little town. A world of change swirls around my little town. I bring you most of the words that go with today are things that I did when I did this during the pandemic on Thanksgiving weekend via my YouTube channel, sitting by myself in my living room, making myself feel better. I'm hoping that these words that we're sharing this morning, as well as the music to come shortly, will do the same for you. These words are from the poet and writer Jan Richardson. As the solstice approaches, blessing for the longest night. All throughout these months, as the shadows have lengthened, this blessing has been gathering itself, making ready, preparing for this night. It has practiced walking in the dark, traveling with its eyes closed, feeling its way by memory, by touch, by the pull of the moon, even as it wanes. So believe me when I tell you, this blessing will reach you, even if you have not light enough to read it. It will find you even though you cannot see it coming. You will know the moment of its arriving by your release of the breath you have held so long, a loosening of the clenching in your hands, of the clutch around your heart, a thinning of the darkness that had drawn itself around you. This blessing does not mean to take the night away, but it knows its hidden roads, knows the resting spots along the path, knows what it means to travel in the company of a friend. So, when this blessing comes, take its hand, get up, set out on the road you cannot see. This is the night when you can trust that any direction you go, you will be walking towards the dawn. Good morning.
Good morning.
In the Northern Hemisphere, these shortening days, from the falling of the leaves to the glint of bright sun on snow, can be hard under the best circumstances. It is said that this time of newly barren trees is a time when the veil between this world and what lies beyond and unseen is at its thinnest, and the presence of our ancestors somehow draws closer. As we seemingly rocket towards the shortest day of the year, the milestone holidays of many cultures line up like dominoes on our calendar. From All Souls Day, El Día de los Muertos, to our celebration of gratitude this weekend, giving way to the seasons of Advent, Hanukkah, and right after the solstice, Christmas and Kwanzaa. It is almost as if every culture collectively recognizes the need to offset the gloom with festiveness and, above all, light. During these lengthening nights, I often have felt helplessness and despair at the state of the world. Our interconnectedness makes it possible to be quickly submerged in an online tidal wave of suffering from around the world. I struggle mightily with this. For what can I, with my one small voice, do? The answer, as always, is do something. To borrow from the laws of mathematics for a moment, any one little thing is infinitely better than doing nothing at all. To bring some small offering of good in words and music to you today, to acknowledge what we each and all have been through, feels like it might be some small token of good at the least. May our time together this morning bring some comfort to your weary soul, and in turn, to those working to save lives, struggling to serve their needs of their community, or those simply aching for human connection. I asked for and am grateful to have 3 candles this morning. The first one I light is a candle of remembrance. What is he up to today? Our memories of these holidays of this season often do remind us of cherished, revered elders from earlier in our lives. I can do this without dropping this on myself. They're part of our collected association of memories of these celebrations. And I'm thinking of them on this day at this time of year, but I'm also thinking of the fact that each of them went through these days in their own lives 100, 200 years ago. Whatever the milestone was, they did something special on this day. We talk about anniversaries a lot, right? You read the newspaper, you'll see 50 years ago today, 75 years ago today. Well, isn't every day an anniversary of something special that happened to somebody that we'll never know? Maybe that somebody special was somebody that was vital to us being here. I mean, think about it. If you look at that family tree of yours, whether you like any of the people on it or not is irrelevant. The fact that you need each and every one of them for you to be here, that's relevant. Now, of course, you can leave it to a singer-songwriter to have an overactive imagination about what sorts of things might happen on this day, what milestones might be in a newspaper of our own family, in our own story, in our own lives, should such a thing exist. 2,000 years ago today, a farmer walked his field, wondered what the land would yield before the winter snow. 2,000 years ago today, two young lovers kissed, laughed and made a wish beneath the shooting star glow. Somewhere in a far and distant future, millennia beyond imagining, as time takes away what will remain of how we lived and loved today. Thousand years ago today, anger hurled a stone to break another's bones and keep some fool upon a throne. 2,000 years ago today, a cog in a war machine drew his last breath on a distant plain as he dreamed of home. Somewhere in a far and distant future, millennia beyond imagining, as time takes away what will remain of how we lived and loved today. 2,000 years ago today, a mama hushed her little ones, kissed them on the head and tucked them into bed, and turned her face toward the sky for blessings from on high. Prayed to guide them safe on the unknown path ahead. She wondered someday in a far and distant future, millennia beyond imagining, as time takes away what will remain of how we lived and loved today, of how we live and love We are now wrapping up Thanksgiving weekend. We try to carve out some small space in our time to be grateful for our many blessings. And yet, the pressures of the outside world are omnipresent and intense, aren't they? Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday, weary travelers all pulling into home after long days on the clogged interstates and busy airports. What day is devoted to rest and recovery of the soul from this burbling stew of family relations and commercial consternations? My second candle this morning is for gratitude. Brilliant. That part worked. funny. Of all the places that I would travel, the place where I don't need to tell people what the roots of the actual modern day Thanksgiving are probably all right here in this town of Gettysburg. Or in fact, this national Thanksgiving that we observe in between all the crass commercial holidays was declared after nothing other than the epic battle that happened here by President Lincoln. I always find that Thanksgiving is one of those times when I want to be grateful for lots of things, and I struggle to be able to crowd out the noise of all of those other things pressing in. So yesterday we had family at our table, a turkey upon it, and our table overflowed with gratitude for these small, large, and wondrous unseen blessings all around. So today I count my blessings and not my troubles or my gold. Count your blessings, don't count your gold. Don't need money when you're lying cold. You can't buy your way into heaven, I am told. Count your blessings, don't count your gold. Count the good deeds that you've done. Lend your hand to help someone. St. Peter's got his list, he's checking everyone. Count the good deeds that you've done. In spite of all your troubles, all you need is on your back. Believe in all your blessings. Don't worry about all you lack. Count the lessons you learn each day. Let them guide you, show you the way. Follow wise words, you won't go astray. Count the lessons you learn each day. Count your blessings, don't count your gold. You don't need money when you're lying cold. You can't buy your way into heaven, I am told. Count your blessings, don't count your gold. Oh, oh, count your blessings, don't count your gold. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ancient cultures clearly recognized the significance of the winter solstice, and that the longest night would eventually make way for the longest day with its warmth and abundance. That the time of harvest recently concluded would come again, just as the winter would give way to the greening renewal of spring growth. My final candle today is one of hope. I was with my family in Ireland and Scotland a few years ago, and y'all have heard me tell that story here before. Some of you may even remember that this very guitar that I'm playing right now was a gift given to me upon meeting my cousins in County Down in Northern Ireland. When I had this amazing experience and realized just how symbolic the place this guitar was made to my family history, I decided that the first song that I wrote on it ought to be something having something to do with the people that made it possible for all of us to have been meeting in the here and now. And I thought about it for a little while. I had a Christmas show to do. It was a songwriter show that happened to be near Christmas, and it wasn't a Christmas show until the email 3 days before the show said, by the way, you 9 songwriters who are coming to this thing, one of your 3 songs needs to be a holiday song. Not the biggest chestnuts roasting on an open fire guy you're going to meet. I've avoided this stuff quite readily and, shall I say, deftly for a long time. And so here I am, stuck. And I thought, well, maybe this is the writing prompt that I needed. And I started to think, you know, when we were in Ireland, it was near the summer solstice. It was light until practically midnight. It was amazing. There's always a bill to be paid for that, you know? I started thinking about what life would have been like in the mid-1800s for my great-great-great-grandparents, living as they did by the sea, working hard jobs in the lead mines, out on boats, weaving for the linen industry, and probably not getting paid time off. And it's probably dark at 3:30 in the afternoon. That seems like a pretty tall order to get some joy up that time of year, you know what I'm saying? And yet, somehow, they found it in them to not only celebrate Christmas, but to hand down our own family traditions in some way. Now, whatever magical things they did to conjure up the holiday spirit, or perhaps it was the fact that my ancestors in Northern Ireland were handy at ginning up another kind of spirits, if you know what I mean, seemed only fitting to write a dram to the holidays. Flickering candle, cold window glass, brave and small in the dark, beam like a lighthouse on winter shores, guide me safe home in its glow. Wee ones a slumber deep in their beds, tucked close in a room much too small. Their dreams burn brightly, far more than they should, and reason enough to believe. Lord, give them a reason to believe, to raise a dram to the holidays, oh, may they last, where hopes for the future dance with ghosts of the past, and hold tight to the best of what's been. We're still here at the holidays again. They come home off the water and home from the mines, worry lines worn in their soul, out holidays, hymns up on high, proclaiming that Christmas is nigh. Raise a dram to the holidays, oh may they last, where hopes for the future dance with ghosts of the past. Hold tight to the best of what's been. We're still here at the holidays again. The longest of nights gives way to the dawn. Its radiance christens the sea. Sweet in the oven, a log on the fire, and an angel rests high on the tree. Blessed angel, keep watch over me. So raise a dram to the holidays, oh may they last, where hopes for the future dance with ghosts of the past. Hold tight to the best of what's been. We're still here at the holidays. Raise a dram to the holidays, oh may they last, where hopes for the future dance with ghosts of the past. Hold tight to the best of what's been. We're still here at the holidays. And a very happy holiday to you.